Hi everyone. Full disclosure, one, I've noticed a lot of the videos that I put out recently are kind of me in a negative headspace, me bitching about things I don't like. And that is completely normal. I shaved, by the way. I got tired of eating my beard every time I tried to eat food. So kind of want to take a break from that. Kept the goatee though. So when my beard, which will grows back, I'm gonna look more ZZ Top, and I'm fucking perfectly fine with that. Mm. Right now, I look kind of old System of a Down, but I am old, and so is System of a Down. But um. Oh, okay. Start the positivity off with this. Um, the best thing in the world. I never, like in my life experienced anything that tastes as wonderful as a Little Debbie peanut butter cookie sandwich. It's two peanut butter cookies with peanut butter in the middle. And I'm not stopping there. It already. I know it already sounds delicious. You're like, what? S- Stop there. I'm in. You take it, and you're going to want to cook. You're going to want to do two. Take two, not one, because then you're going to hate yourself because you didn't do two. Because you're just going to get up and fucking do it again. Take two, take them out of their plastic sleeve because they're just like the oatmeal cream cookies, which also chef's kiss on those things. And this works with those things as well. Delicious. Anyway, back to you take two and you take a paper towel and you wrap them in that paper towel. Just a dry paper towel. Just wrap them in it. Don't do it tight, do it loosely. Put them on a plate. Paper plate, plastic plate, fucking glass plate, metal. Well, probably not a metal plate. Definitely not a metal plate. But put them on a plate, stick it into the microwave. Cook them for 10 to 15 seconds. And that depends on how powerful your microwave is. If your microwave is very, very low wattage, probably want to go 15. If it's a high wattage microwave, shit, you might even want to look at 6 or 7. And the whole point of doing that is to make them soft enough to where the liquids in the peanut butter cream in the middle, kind of liquefy again and soak into the cookie and kind of cook the cookie, but but it just makes it so warm, soft, and fluffy when you eat it, and it's the most amazing thing. And like I said, that also works with their Oreo, or not Oreo. Well, shoot, I think they have an Oreo cream cookie too. It's not called Oreo because it's Little Debbie. It's something else like chocolate. You could probably do it with that. I've never eaten it because I hate Oreos. Oreos are the suckiest cookie that's ever existed in the entire history of man. And you go, oh well, you must like Hydrox. No, I hate Oreo for the same reason that I hate Hydrox. Those cookies suck. They're bad. I like fresh baked, soft, moist, gooey, dripping with chocolate fucking cookies. That's not a cookie. That's just a fucking cracker that tastes sweet. And if I want a cracker, I'll eat a saltine. Insert your joke here. But yeah, it, cookies, fucking awesome. Great story. What was the other thing? like I said, I want to make a positive video about things that make me happy and things that I enjoy. And the first thing that comes to my mind made me happy, but it's kind of negative. I went to the Dollar Tree today. I'm walking around with my cane. Go inside, do my shopping, come out, meet the coolest fucking dude I've ever met in my life. Is I'm not even gonna say the color of his skin because it isn't important to the story. What's important to the story is he was wearing a Navy Vietnam vet hat, and I asked, and I stopped and I said, "Sir, thank you for your service," because I'm a fucking Navy brat. I'm a military brat. My mom was in the Coast Guard. My dad was in the Navy. My brother is in the Navy. My brother was in the Air Force. My grandfather was in the Navy. My grandmother was a USO girl. My other grandfather was in the Navy. Like, I'm a military brat. I got raised in that kind of like thinking from Pearl Harbor, like World War II vets were my grandparents. My dad was young enough he didn't have to go to Vietnam, but he was still in the Navy, fucking traveling around on the fucking waters in the 70s. He was a helmsman for the USS Saratoga in the not Pacific, the Atlantic Fleet. Really proud of my dad. I'm proud of my brother. Can't talk about my brother, but I'm fucking really proud of him. I think the only thing I can say is that he is a chief in the Navy and that my dad got to pin him. And that was fucking dope to be able to watch that on video. I wasn't there because, you're only allowed to invite so many people to those kind of events. And two, I'm handicapped and I have a very limited budget. But my dad recorded it, and that was fucking cool to be able to watch my brother get pinned as a chief in the United States Navy. Well, not he. He's the one before E7. Oh, shit. I'm probably getting a lot of shit wrong. Like I said, I'm a Navy brat. Emphasis on the brat. I didn't join the fucking military. I wanted to be a fucking artist, and actually was pretty successful as a chef. At it as a chef, but also a musician, a poet. I wrote a fucking book. Um, yeah, I never. That's like my life has been fucking strange. You can literally find a CD, an album that I played bass on in the world somewhere. You might even be able to find it on YouTube. You definitely can find it on YouTube. I'm pretty sure I posted a couple of songs on my channel. But that aside, I feel like I'm like negging myself by trying to talk about like the good things I did and the things that make me happy. I still feel like I am being negative about it. I don't know. I bought a house. Anyway, let's go back to the story with the Vietnam vet. I walk out of the Dollar Tree and he's sitting there selling fruit. Got his own little table up, like a Girl Scout table, Got his table set up, fruit, has the prices, and then one of the signs says red berries, $4 a bushel. I'm like, I have two questions there. because I could see red, quote unquote, berries on the table he was selling, and they were in little individual containers, like with the green bottom and the white top, like the type like actual farmers use, not fucking the grocery store. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, okay, I'm asking myself, what is the definition of a bushel? Because I thought it was like the size of a bucket, and those things are tiny. A bushel of whatever he's selling is for a bushel for $2. Like like I've been apple picking. A bushel is a bucket that you fill full of apples. You pay for some reason. This is what Californians do for fun. They pay to go to like Apple Hill outside of Placerville, California, up in the mountains. They pay to go out onto the orchard and pick fruit until they fill a bushel. Then they take that bushel back, and instead of getting paid, they take that bushel and they go, make me cider with it, make me a hard cider with it. Well, usually it's, I'll trade you for a hard cider with what I picked today, because hard cider takes a while to fucking make. Or, how much do I have to pay you to be able to keep these apples so I can make an apple pie? So you had to pay to go pick apples. You picked apples enough to fill a bucket, and then you went and paid for the apples. If that ain't fucking America, I don't know what is. That is beautiful. It's like the most capitalist thing I've ever heard of. I've been to Apple Hill. I've done this. I had the time of my life doing it, and I knew I was getting fucking swindled the entire time. But I was just there with my wife, and the two of us were just living our best life, going from tree to tree. Both of us filling a bucket of apples. So that's 2 fucking buckets. She's gonna cook a pie. I want to make a fucking an apple bake. I want green apples and yellow apples because I can mix them with a stir fry that would knock her fucking socks off. By the way, that's like one of my favorite recipes in the world. You take a green or a yellow apple, like because of its bitter taste, slice it like half an apple, slice it very thin, very thin. Take a frying pan, uh, uh, season it, put oil in it, throw some fucking garlic in there, salt, pepper. I think I also added some sesame seed oil because it's sweet. You don't want to add too much because you're already going to have the sweet from the apples. But like a couple of drops of sesame seed oil in with like olive oil, and then now you got that cooking, salt, pepper, vinegar, you got that cooking. It's frying to the point where it's bubbling, boiling. When the oil's boiling, that's like, you might want to turn the heat down just a bit. You want to keep it at a nice rolling boil, but not where it's like and spark, and you know what I mean. It's, you don't want it at a jumping boil. You want it at kind of a rolling boil, like kind of a slow boil across the pan. Then you throw the apples on, You take your choice of potato. I like red potatoes for this, but I mean any potato will work. You cut them at the same thinness that you cut uh, the apple. Throw that in there. Keep stirring because it's going to start to kind of fry in the oil you put in there and fry on the pan. You don't want it to stick. Then you take uh, a bunch of asparagus. Just like buy one bunch from like Walmart. It's got a rubber band around it. I don't know the proper word for what a group of asparagus is. Shit, it might even be asparagus, but then asparagus might be a guy that has Asperger's syndrome. I'm just canceling myself. Anyway, you take a bunch of asparagus, cut off the bottom ends where it starts to get brown, not the floury part. Cut off the bottom ends, take the rubber band off, and then cut it into fourths. So while you've got the apples and you've got the potatoes frying, honestly, like you should probably prep all of these ingredients. I'm just going through the process of how to enter these ingredients. So once you've got those frying, you throw the asparagus on top of it. This is the prime time to like you want the apples cooking first to create a natural sugar in the pan when it mixes with the oil. Then you throw the potatoes in because potatoes are an aromatic. They will absorb the taste of that sugar and the apple. Be fucking great. Um, Asparagus it wilts quickly. You've got to add it at the end, right? So you throw the asparagus in there, and then on top of that, you've taken a bunch of walnuts and crushed them to the point where they're almost dust. Not almost, like there's like little tiny. It's like picking up sand made of walnuts. I think that's the best way I could put it. Like picking up, like you've crushed them. You throw that on top, and you fucking stir it, and you let the fucking like the nut, the walnut dust. It's not even dust. It's thicker than that. It's like I mean, in the end, it's thicker than salt, so it's not like walnut dust, but just chunks of walnut. You fry those. You let that aromatic seep in, and the good thing, like for old guys that have like brittle teeth or soft teeth, doing this it makes the walnuts just they like pop in your mouth, and like I said, I'm not doing it justice by saying dust because it's not fucking dust. It's something different. It's just crushed. Holy fuck! It took me that long to figure out crushed. And you throw that on there, right? Meanwhile, you have your crock pot out, and for the past 12 hours, you've had a pork loin slow cooking in this crock pot. Deboned everything. You even covered it with your favorite barbecue sauce. And you have this pork loin cooking for 12 hours. And you reach in with two forks and you shred that pork loin and mix it with the cooked barbecue sauce and all of the fat and the loveliness of cooking meat. And you shred that pork loin with your forks and then you mix it with all of that juice and then you take two artesian class brioche buns and you put that shredded pork on those buns. Don't need anything else. Anything. And then as your side, you grab a side of the potato, apple, asparagus, walnut. Put it on the side. If there was any other way to achieve nirvana, please let me know. Because that is the most delicious dish I've ever made. You might not agree, but I don't care if you agree. I don't cook for other people, I cook for me. See, I'm a selfish artist. When I draw what I want to look at. I don't care if you want to look at it. When I write poetry, I write what comes from my heart. I don't write because I'm trying to sell shit. When I make videos on YouTube, I do it because it just feels right to me at the moment and it's entertaining. I don't care if I make money from it. I don't care if people like it or hate it. It doesn't bug me. So I am literally what you would call a selfish artist. But like anybody, I've been lucky to fucking drop some bombs on people, especially when it came to my cooking. Like I said, the recipe I just gave you, that was a bomb I dropped on my 3 roommates. And my 3 roommates were a black dude, a Mexican dude, and the black dude's white dad. And I made that potato, apple, asparagus, put my love into it. It was my creation. If I was gonna ask these people to eat it, I'm fucking putting my love into it. If they don't like it, I'll figure something out. If I like it, I'm gonna remember the goddamn recipe because I'll make it for myself. Fuck them. Turns out everybody fucking loved it. I had to fucking start cooking that shit like once a month. Hey Ryan, when you make the fucking that potato and apple side dish, shit, all right. Ugh. And I just gave the internet that fucking recipe for free. I also gave the internet my fucking pulled pork fucking recipe for free, but to be honest with you, I didn't invent fucking slow roasting fucking pork loin in a fucking crock pot and covering it in barbecue sauce and then turning it into sandwiches. I'm definitely not the first person that ever did that. Definitely. Now, if I used ranch dressing, oh god, I almost threw up in my own mouth a little bit when I said that out loud. Oh, 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 yeah. Okay, other positive memories. Um, I'm a wrestling fan. I've got other positive memories that I'm probably going to make on a different video that I'm going to tell, but I want to tell this story and into the video. I'm a wrestling fan. Love wrestling. I've loved wrestling since I was a kid. Uh, back in the 80s, the the 1980s, not the 1880s. I'm not that old. I wish I was that old. That would be fucking dope. But I'm not that old. Um, back in the 80s, my dad used to take. I had 2 younger brothers, and I was pretty young at the time too. So if I was 7, my brothers were 5 and 3, maybe. If I do the math correctly. Fuck, don't quote. Math was never my strong suit. Um. So yeah, my dad would take us to tape rental place or video rental place because Blockbuster didn't even exist yet at this point. And the video rental place, the first one I ever remember going to, it had VHS, beta, and laser discs. Um, Laser discs are these giant CDs about the size of a record, and they're housed in a giant cartridge that you have to have a special player. My dad had a beta, a laser disc, and a fucking VHS. VHS 1, he was able to throw the other two fucking out, kind of like me. I just bet on Blu-ray winning. I was like, it's made by Sony. Blu-ray is going to win. I am not getting into this HDD, high definition. Yeah, the HD DVD. No, that's one, that's too hard to say. It's easier to say Blu-ray. And two, Blu-ray is made by Sony, not Microsoft. I'm just putting all my money into Sony winning this battle. They did, thank God, because if fucking Microsoft won that battle and everything was HD DVD, not only would everything be hard to say, but it would fucking suck. Sony is better at technology than American companies. I'm sorry. They just fucking are. They're better than Apple. They're better than Microsoft. They're better. Like, they're just better. It, anything that uses Sony technology is going to last forever and is going to work correctly. Last correctly. It's going to last forever and work correctly. Holy fuck. See, I'm trying to make a happy video about things that make me happy, and I'm just bitching about shit. And I lost my fucking train of thought because I was talking about wrestling. I grew up watching wrestling with my brothers. Oh, now I know where I'm at. And when we'd go to the video store, Dad would allow me and my two brothers to pick two movies. Mom would allow us two. It was just kind of a rule in the house when we were a nuclear family. Um, Me and my brothers, there were three of us, and we got to pick two movies. So on both movies, we had to come to a consensus. So we actually worked it out to where me and my middle brother would pick a movie because he was older than my younger brother, but he still was younger than me, so he's around the same age as my younger brother. And those two would pick a movie. Well, every time me and my middle brother picked a movie, it was like WrestleMania, SummerSlam, or like we watch like every fucking time. And then the other time when him and my youngest brother would pick a movie, it'd probably be a really cool fucking Disney movie that I wanted to watch anyway, because I was still a kid too. I mean, I still kind of am. I love watching fucking animated films. I found myself watching SpongeBob SquarePants the other day, just sitting there going, "This is the dumbest cartoon I've ever watched in my life," and I still kept watching it because I was like, "There's nothing else on." Futurama, one of my favorite fucking cartoons ever is Futurama. If Futurama comes on, again, I get stuck. Uh, Ruby, it's sad that they did this to themselves. Ruby is fucking great. Red versus Blue, fucking great. Like, Red versus Blue is what introduced me to the internet in the fucking first place. Fucking hilarious. I found Red versus Blue before I found Homestar Runner. Like, of course, I was also uh, 23 when Red versus Blue first came out. So I was already a dad. I had 2 kids and a wife at 23. So yeah, fucking, I was working my ass off back then. But I digress. I loved wrestling from like early 80s. Like I was a kid, we had wrestling buddies. We got wrestling buddies for Christmas. I got the Ultimate Warrior, and my brother got uh, Hulk Hogan, and my youngest brother got the best wrestler. He got the fucking Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I was like, what the fuck? I fuck the Ultimate Warrior. Why don't I get Ricky the Dragon Steamboat? Love that guy. And we would go every time we would go to rent movies. We always came home with a wrestling DV or VHS because VHS won that war. And it got to the point where like every Saturday night when WWF came on with fucking the main event, we're watching wrestling tonight. We'd just steal the living room from our mom. And I say steal from our mom because our dad would just come out and watch it with us, and we'd end up wrestling while watching wrestling, just like watching football, baseball. Like we would just steal the TV from my mom on the weekends. She'd be sitting there watching Mash, and doing the dishes, and we'd all just fucking walk in and go, "Mom, Mystery Science Theater 3000's on," and just change the channel on her, and then there'd be 4 guys just sitting in her living room while she's still doing the dishes, and we were just like, "This is how life works." Dad's in his fucking lazy boy, we're on the couch. Sean's laying on the floor. We're watching fucking wrestling, Mystery Science Theater, the Niners game, the Giants game, the fucking San Jose Sharks game's on. Oh, we're gonna watch a video of us playing baseball, the game we played last night that you watched and we were in. We're gonna watch that video. Like, my poor mom. Now that I look back at it, it had to be really tough for that woman to have 4 men, boys, penises just fucking being themselves in her house. It really had to be hard for her. Now that I think about it, I respect my mom a little bit more. Now, granted, me and my mom have problems. We've had problems since I was 16. Like problems that like while forgiven can't be forgotten type of thing. So that made me happy having good memories about my mom. I have good memories now as an adult. Like I talked to her the other day. That was fucking awesome. I love my mom. I miss her. God only knows how much I miss my mom and would really love to get a hug and have her rub my head while she's hugging me the way she used to. Fucking love that shit. You know? There's parts of you that like even as an adult you go through fucking some fucked up things, and the thoughts that help you get through those hard things are the positive memories. And most of those positive memories will always be your mom. My mom rubbing my back after a loss. My mom excitingly hugging me after a win. My mom rubbing my back while I'm sick and throwing up. My mom making sure I was fed. My mom going out of her way to make sure I was eating vegetables and eating healthy foods because, as she used to tell me, I'm feeding you like this because you want to be an athlete. Eat it. It's good for you. Builds bones, builds muscle. It didn't work on my youngest brother. He didn't want to be an athlete. All he wanted every day was hot dogs. And if you were to see him today, you'd be like, "Oh man, what's up, hot dog boy?" It shows. It shows. He actually eats vegetables now. He's really I'm really proud of him. His culinary tastes have expanded like a million fold. But when he was a kid, fucking hot dogs and chicken nuggies. That was it. That's all he'd eat. And French fries. That's it. Hot dogs, chicken nuggies, French fries. Oh, he loved ice cream too, but what? Who doesn't? The reason I didn't bring that up is because everybody loves ice cream, chocolate, sweet. So the things everybody loves, no reason to mention here. Because I'm not trying to roast my youngest brother. I'm just saying that I'm having a positive memory about him. Like, me and my middle brother, like we wanted to be athletes. We were athletes. I grew up in a time where you had to play outside every day anyway. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna play basketball in the middle of the street and be those kids that are living in that neighborhood where you go, car. That's what you did. And if you weren't doing that, you were out riding your bike. Or you were going to the school to play basketball at the school because your friend's fucking basketball hoop, or even your basketball hoop that was in front of your house got stolen or taken away because you caused property damage. So you get on your bike or skateboard and ride. Nobody rode scooters back then. Scooters fucking for faggots. Oh. Oh, that made myself laugh. That's fucking funny. Go up to the school, and the school, like, we used to play this game. Actually, we played fucking two games. The name of both games sound like each other, so sometimes you would agree to play a game that you didn't even know you agreed to. One was butt ball, and the other was bunt ball. Butt ball was where you went over to the dodgeball wall, the handball wall that they got outside, and the amount of players could be anywhere from 2 to 500, and you use one tennis ball. And the rules of butt ball are: if you drop the ball or the ball hits the ground after you touch it, before it hits the wall first, you're the butt ball. And you have to go and stand and lean against the wall, and everybody else gets to throw that tennis ball at your ass. Yeah, the rule, you have to aim for his butt. There were dudes that would like fucking throw it and hit a guy in the head, and they usually got beat up because it was like, dude, that's not the rules. You have to hit him in the ass. It's called butt ball. And so you would put your hands, if you fucking went to go get the tennis ball and somebody smacked it out of your hand when you were picking it up, or when you were trying to throw it and they smack it out of your hand and it hits the ground. Oh, I'm sorry. The important rule. Um, if you drop the ball without throwing it, you don't get hit in the ass automatically. You have to make it to the wall and touch the wall before somebody picks the ball up and throws it and bounces it off. So if you beat the ball to the wall, you don't have to do you don't have to be butt ball. But if you don't get there in time, like I said, this is a game that is played from as many as 2 to 500. There are a lot of people watching you. It's hard to fucking lie your way out of I beat the ball. No, motherfucker, you didn't. We voted no. Ball hit the wall first, butt ball for everybody. uh, and then there was bunt ball. Bunt ball was used also with a tennis ball and a real baseball bat. And because I don't know if you know, tennis ball is basically made out of rubber, has a lot of get up and go, but it's also a ball you can play baseball with without needing a glove. It's not going to hurt. It's kind of a so. The thing is, because it's made out of rubber, though, if you fucking try to wail on it with an actual baseball bat, that motherfucker's going to be gone. You're not playing a game anymore. You're just playing home run derby. Like, might as well let everybody sit down until it's their turn, because this motherfucker's got 10 missed swings until he's done, and he's already at 305. So I guess just throw another tennis ball. Yeah. So bunt ball was, you couldn't swing at it like full bore. You had to hold it as if it was a bunt, and when the ball came at you, you could swing at it then, like you were held the bat like you were trying to bunt. Only baseball fans are going to get this reference. You have to hold and stand with the bat as if you're going to bunt, right? And then the person throws the tennis ball. And from that position and that position only, you could swing the bat at it. Like, you can't put your two hands together and swing. You can't uh 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 twist your hips back and get a fucking good whack at it. It was an automatic out. It was considered cheating. You could only stand. God damn it! I can't wait till I get my new camera so I can show this. You could only stand as if you're about to bunt, and then use only your arms to whack at the ball. And we'd play baseball like that. We called it bunt ball because it made it fair. And you could play it with 5 people on a team. Yeah, 6. Yeah, the pitcher and, well, 5 really. Actually, you could the pitcher, the catcher, and 3 infielders, because you weren't allowed to get underneath it, but it would have enough rubbery pop to fly up in the air, so you could have a fly out or a ground ball, or and all of that. And it was a tennis ball, so you could pick it up and fucking fling it at your friend. And if he didn't catch it, at least, it wasn't a baseball. It was a tennis ball that just hit him in the chest. Oh, Jesus. Pick it up and step on the base, asshole. I guess that's a really weird first positivity video. I'll get back to my wrestling story in the next one.